Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Western New York Athletics live here on the NFHS Network. My name is Jacob Fyak. Alongside with me is Tom Prince, live here at Amherst Central High School, where we are about to continue another what should be fun high school football season 2025. Week 1 about to get underway between the Amherst Tigers on their home turf taking on the Kenmore East Bulldogs in a Class A2 division battle.
Jake, come on, it's the beginning of the season. Let's go. We're here. We're ready to kick things off. You knew we were going to bring the energy. Listen, Jake brings it as much as I do, so I knew he's going to have a killer one right there. But listen, this is really going to be a fun game right here. Two teams learning to find things early on in the season. Both young, both trying to get some experience right here at the varsity level. But what's going to be really key to this game is this could be a game for either team, whoever wins this one, that could really shotgun them into the season. It could be that start that they're looking for. It could be all those things that they need to be able to get some experience, get some positivity, and be able to get some belief that you can go and have a great season. I'm excited for this one, Jake.
Yeah, absolutely. And the one thing we heard about through both the head coaches for Ken East and Amherst, Ken East being Matt O'Malley and Amherst being Jason Beckman, is a lot of work into this offseason. A lot of the guys in that weight room that have that inexperience, that are trying to gain as much as they can. But as we know, Tom, practice can give you a lot. But once you're able to step up on that field to the varsity level and get to that game speed, that's where the real experience comes in.
Yeah, and that's exactly what you want to do. That's why positivity to start off a season could be so big. Last year, you know, these were two teams, so when you look at their record, may not have been what they wanted to be. But this is a brand new season. This is the way to kick things off, and I really believe that both of these teams look at this game as a game they could win.
Amherst will be kicking the ball off first. That means they will get the second half. Looks like number 3, Quinn Resendez, will be kicking it off. And as for Kenmore East, their two return men being number 1 and the senior in Amir Epps, and then number 3, another senior in Jaron Williams. Our officials for tonight's game: referee is Joe Podorowski. Our umpire is James Wilson III. Our linesman, Richard Quay. Our lines judge being Brandon Musso, and then our back judge being Chris Horvadets. Well, we got several other games that are happening here Thursday night, and including a plethora of high school football happening Friday, and then continuing on this weekend. Tom, high school football Section 6 is back.
I can't, and Monsignor Martin, we don't want to forget those, right? Both of those here in Western New York are alive and kicking this weekend. If you aren't excited, man, I don't know why you aren't, because this is really what it's all about. It's a gorgeous night, great weather. We couldn't have asked for a better way to kick things off, especially the way it was pouring rain earlier on today. We were hoping we were going to get a great one as far as weather, and we got that.
Yeah, absolutely. Beautiful sunset coming down here. And as for Amherst, they're ready to boot this one away. And high school football is underway for both Ken East and Amherst. Deep in the own territory, Jaron Williams trying to juke right through, looking for space towards the right hash. He got past the 25 and was brought down around the 27, maybe 28. And that is where the 2025 campaign of this Kenmore East offense will start out.
Jake, one of the things to look out for Kenmore East that we heard that we should expect to see is the line. You know, I'm always going to talk about the line in a game. It's a difference of whether you're going to win or lose, or whether you can run the ball inside of a game. There is some great linemen that we're going to see inside this one from Kenmore East. Let's see how they come out, and are they able to run the ball and move it effectively because of the line.
And one of those guys that looked like that could be one of the highlights of this offensive line, defensive line duo being in number 65, Nick Wilson, entering his senior year, possible Trent's Trophy nominee. See how he does. Now from the toss. Now they go quick pass downfield, wide open, and it is caught. Staying up on his feet and into Amherst territory inside the 30. What a way for Ken Maurice to start off the season.
And to be able to stay in that pocket to get hit, you know you were going to get hit. You saw him come right in your face on that replay. He gets hit, still gets the ball off. What a great play. We see trickery to start off the season, but sometimes that is belief in your players and get your players rallied behind you. Get you even more excited. We just had a good play to start this season off.
And it was the senior connection, Amir Epps. He's listed as a wide receiver. That time, though, showing off his cannon of an arm, getting it to Tyler Kent. We did have a flag on the play, and I saw the referee's motion. It looked like it was unsportsmanlike conduct. So after that big gain of yardage, they'll still stay in Amherst territory, but they're going to put this ball at the 40-yard line.
That's the one way you don't want to start things off, especially after a great play. The only positive is, guess what? You got your first down. You got the great play. Now how do you move forward off that? But that's the one thing coaches will go crazy about, is being able to give up penalties like that.
And then Julian Lubeski, the junior, being the starting quarterback for the Bulldogs, claps his hands, goes for a quick pass, and this one is caught at around the 42, past the 30, and going out of bounds inside the 30 for a first down. A penalty marker was down as Lubeski connected to Jaron Williams.
And down right at the first down marker. Now, and you saw how they were originally moving the sticks. Did you see that? And the ref came over and said, go back. That usually means it's going to be going against right there Ken Maurice. And that would be a shame. Yeah, and they just said it's against Ken Maurice. So 2 penalties right now in the first 2 plays to start things off for Ken Maurice. Definitely not the way that Coach O'Malley wanted to start this off when it comes to the flags.
Yeah, it was a holding penalty on Ken Maurice offense. And, Tom, not only that, though, but 2 explosive passing plays we've seen from the Bulldogs.
And I'll tell you, that was a nice throw right there by Lubeski. We saw him warming up. We stood right behind him. He's got a cannon for an arm and very accurate. We were watching him hit guys in stride out there. This is a guy that can throw the ball, and I'm excited to see how it plays out for him.
First and down at the 39-yard line, and a whole lot of movement as that penalty marker got thrown in to Ken Maurice's side, and another penalty drawn against them.
3 plays, 3 penalties. That's the thing that you know when it comes to halftime and Coach meets with his team. That would be the first thing that gets addressed, especially if it doesn't clean up as this game moves along.
And a common theme that we'll probably see throughout this week, Tom, first time action for a lot of these teams. You're going to see that happen more often than not.
You're a great point, Jake. I agree. And remember, there's jitters out there. We said a lot of these guys are playing their first varsity game. There's jitters out there when it comes to that.
First and 14, ball in motion. It's going to go over to Epps. Not going to throw it this time. Going to use his legs to cut it to the outside. To the 40, brought down what looks like to be close to the 35-yard line. We'll see where they officially spot it, but hey, back-to-back penalties against your offense. Nice little end-around play to gain some of that back.
Did you see, though, the athleticism of Lubeski on that one? How he had to go up in the air to make sure that hike from center didn't go over his head. He leaps up, Gale, to get it, and then still be able to get the handoff. That showed athleticism right there and how good of an athlete he really is.
So they did spot the ball at the 35-yard line, a pickup of 9 there. Bring up just a second down and manageable. And so far for Ken Maurice, even with the penalties, they're definitely moving the ball pretty well on their opening drive.
That's a great point, Jake. I agree 100% there. Keep it positive still. Overcome. That's things that coaches want to see, especially early on.
Empty back set, and he just got almost everyone on Amherst defense to jump, and that will be against the defense, and that should be enough to move the chains for a first down, depending on where the ball was spotted.
It may be like a half yard short, Jake. Yeah, it looks like it's about a half yard short right there. But this is now the first penalty that's gone against Amherst right there. Great cadence, right, Lubeski. That's one of the reasons why that happened. A great job with his cadence to draw them off sides.
So officially put as a second down and 1. putting at the 30, showing 2 wide receivers on the left side. 2 tailbacks in between their quarterback from the snap. Now going for a draw play, cutting up inside, moving to the left, and they'll be brought down by the 28-yard line. And being that guy there, Miguel Flores, the senior running back, able to get that yards and move the chains.
So what did we talk about before Ken East came out to play? We thought they had the line. This is a line that should be able to be positive for them this year. And look at what's happened. Outside of the first play that was a pass, they've been running the ball the past 3 plays and being very effective from the outside as well as going up the gut. And that's a testament right there of the line.
And Flores will stay in his spot. They'll just flip the wide receivers now over to the right. Get a fresh new set of downs. From the snap, faking it to Flores, going past, downfield. He's caught, wide open, trying to go into the end zone. He hurdles it. But he's going to be short in between the goal line and the 1 yard line.
Okay, so this flag may be for him hurdling. You can't hurdle. That flag may be for him leaping over a player right there. Did you see how they talked it over there? I think, and then threw the flag really late. I think this flag will be because of him going into the air right there and going into the end zone. So if we can you do the replay again? So we'll see that replay again. So here comes the replay, folks. What a great job. You're going to see Lubeski right now roll to the outside. Great pass, great route run right there by Nadesky. And you can see gets right down to the end zone and does a great job of getting in there. Unfortunately, the flag's thrown, and you can see they're still discussing this over on the sidelines. But I'll tell you this, I see Harry Skull from the Buffalo News on the sidelines. I hope he got that shot because that would be one heck of a picture right there. And I think that's exactly what this penalty is. It is absolutely when he went over the top of the defensive player.
So already just still on this opening drive for Ken Maurice, 2 great passing plays that still end with the result of a penalty that pushes them back. And they put this ball at the, looks like the 17-yard line.
And I want to say, isn't that 40 yards right now of penalties just on this drive? 2 15s. Plus the 18-yard penalty that would have went for a first down. That's 40 yards.
And it still puts them in a red zone chance. Fresh set of downs. Flores in the backfield showing 4 wide receivers from the snap, and a lot of people moved there as the penalties continue to hurt this Kenmore East drive, push them back even further. And Tom, I'm confident to say it, even with half the penalties that they had, or even just 1 penalty, they would, my case would be in the end zone right now.
Well, again, I think if he actually would have went and lowered his shoulder down there, he would have still gotten into the end zone right there. Granted, I know it looked great, and I'm with you, right? We all said how great it looked, but I'll tell you, I think if he still would have lowered his shoulder, he gets in there and there would have been points on the board already.
Ball spotted at the 22, making it a first down and 15. See what the Bulldogs show here out of this formation, as they got both Jaron Williams and Amir Epps on the left side. Then you got Tyler Kent, their senior tight end, motioning from right to left. Lebeski, snap, give is to Flores. The speed, can't get him down though, as he moves over along the right hash and will get to around maybe the 21-yard line. That'd be a pickup of just about a yard.
Looked like that was Maurice Anderson who broke into the backfield for Amherst. Almost made a spectacular play. He timed it perfectly and got into the backfield like he needed to.
And that's all I want to say, maybe the first time we've seen so far from this Amherst defense where they're able to break through that offensive line to try to get loss of yardage. So still 14 yards to go. They show 4 wide receivers, but now split from each side. Now 1 man in motion. The snap, and the give, and he is going absolutely nowhere behind the line of scrimmage. And one of those guys to meet him up there was number 55, Jihad Richardson, the junior, who, Tom, was one of the guys that we talked to before this game got started from the coaching staff of how an integral part he's going to be on that defense.
He was one of the returning players that coaches all said, look out. He's my offensive line leader. He's my defensive line leader. And that right there is a big play to show that leadership out there to say, team, we can still make a big stop and get the ball back ourselves.
That was a loss of 2 yards, 3rd down and 16, just over 8 to go here in the first quarter. Still on the opening drive, Lubeski's pass, incomplete. Nice coverage there. Looked like number 20, that might have been number 23 there on Amherst. Fortunately, though, I don't see him on the roster there, but a great job there to break up the pass, to be in the vicinity. The 10 receiver was to Tyler Kent, and I'll bring up 4th down.
So, folks, if we don't get a name right or apologize, but we can only go by the rosters that the schools put in, and that's exactly what we're going by. But you're right, that was a great breakup by him. But I'll tell you, did you see going across the other way that we saw that was intended for Nadescu, but Resendes was going the opposite way and may have been wide open right there and an opportunity to be able to get into the end zone. Oh, you know what? I apologize. I said that wrong. It should have been Tyler Kent
and Jalen Williams.
And Jaron Williams. My fault. That was me on that one. But Jaron Williams was wide open with a chance to be able to get in there.
And a timeout is called by Kenmore East, their first of the half. They're going to want to talk this one over. They've already had some trickery on this opening drive. Literally the first play of the season was a big one that set them up here in this territory. But penalties have pushed them back with a chance to get their first touchdown of the season. We'll see what they do here on a 4th and very long when we return.
Logistics Plus is a global transportation provider headquartered in Erie, PA, with locations worldwide, including right here in Western New York. Logistics Plus is consistently recognized as a fast-growing transportation and logistics company, great supply chain partner, top freight broker, leading project cargo manager, and a great place to work. With a strong passion for excellence, our 500-plus employees put the plus in logistics.
Or an efficient personal approach for all of your transportation needs. More information about our Buffalo office is available at logisticsplus.com/Buffalo.
Welcome back, everyone, to the NFHS Network for Section 6 football. Coming out of that Kenmore East timeout, which is brought to you by Damon University. 4th down, a long way to go. Have to go inside the 10, but they want to go for 6. But they're not going to get it that time. Incomplete. Intended receiver was Jaron Williams, who couldn't corral it in. So now for Amherst, their first time of this 2025 campaign, they will start off with the ball at their own 23-yard line.
But a great job. He threw that where only Williams was going to be able to get it. Did you see that? Williams showed his athletic ability, went up, got hands on it, just was a little bit too high, but at least threw it where only he could get it. But I still, outside of the penalties, right? We already know that's something that they're going to want to clean up. But I really like the way that Ken East moved the ball and did it both by the run and by the air, showing something early on that they are going to be a team that can move the ball.
Now out of the formation, showing one wide receiver for Amherst, Tim Yap, and along with number 5, C.J. Pratt. Pratt, looks like he's taking this up himself, able to move it over along the right hash and get it brought down close to the 28, maybe 29-yard line.
And we talked to Coach before the game, and he said that we may see 2 quarterbacks here out there, kind of split time. So we may see 2 different style guys come out here and play quarterback today for Amherst.
That'll be a pickup of about 6 yards. And we heard it, Tom, that, kind of split at quarterbacks. Also maybe some wildcat as we saw there on the first play. This Amherst squad coming into this season, very inexperienced roster heading in, but this is the part where you gain that experience starting now and throughout the end of this season. That's now one-man motions from right to left. That was Maurice Anderson. And right away, timeout called here by Amherst. They'll use up their first of the half. With just over 7 minutes to go here in this one, we're still scoreless. We'll go ahead and step aside real quick. We'll come back. This timeout's brought to you by Damon University.
After an accident, life can be scary, stressful, tricky. You need Richmond Bona to help navigate the process, because getting a life-changing settlement can not only take time, it can take an emotional toll. The team at Richmond Bona provides high levels of support through all the ins and outs, so you get the settlement you need and the new beginning you deserve.
When the unexpected happens,
expect Richmond Bona.
Wing nuts. You still got to go.
Have you guys tried Room 40 yet?
Looking for the perfect spot to throw your next party? Say hello to Room 40, our private event space at both Wingnuts locations.
Out of this timeout, the young Amherst Tigers coming back out onto the field. Nice little wildcat play to the right side. Now for this play, they're going to move it over to the left, trying to cut it over. There's the burst of speed, able to bring them down for a tackle. Nice job there by Amherst. Tim Yap running the ball. Some nice speed to bring it down.
Did read the ball really well. You can see, really showed how quick he is. He got to the outside and really cut him off so he could make that turn and go upfield.
No credit. The senior running back, 2 yards. Third down, about 4 to go. Bunched up though. This time showing 2 wide receivers. Just gonna hand it off, try to run up the gun. Maybe about a yard there. 4 guys there. Fourth down, just needing 1 more yard to keep the drive alive. Opening drive here. Anderson going to motion from left to right. Pratt in, Yap in the backfield. Trying to stay patient there. And another timeout called by Amherst with the clock stopping at 5:34 to go here in the first quarter. Taking a second look here at what they want to do on this drive, get the right play to move more than a yard to get the chains moving.
Or you were trying to draw them off sides there. You're trying to draw them off sides, you call timeout, now you're going to go ahead and punt the ball. Very dangerous area to be in to try to go for this. You don't make it, and then you're giving Ken East great opportunity and great field position, and you got to realize, is this something that you want to be able to do? Or you wanted to see how they came out on the defensive side and said, okay, now let me call a play based on the defense I saw out there so that I can now go after that first down.
So both teams getting back out onto the field, and Amherst is still showing signs from that formation that looked like to be going for it here.
Remember, we've seen a lot, though, that pooch punt where they the quarterback will just step back a little and he'll be your punter. So that is a possibility out there, but it looks like they're going to go ahead and try to get this first down.
Try to go inside here. Little tush-push action. And getting it to the 35-yard line. Enough for a first down.
Is that not apropos on a Thursday with the Eagles now going to play here in the NFL that we see a tush-push in our game right here? Is that literally right there, apropos right there?
They just wanted to do it just before the Eagles did it. They were
That's
like, hey,
what I said.
we want to know we did it first.
It did it, and we're going to give Amherst the credit for it right there. You got to love that.
Well, a nice job there disguising the play, able to move it a couple yards to pick up the first. They put the ball at the 35, and now some substitutions coming in for Kenny's defense. And Amherst, little by little, just even though still in their same territory, still trying to move that ball down the field. Now they cut it open to the outside, trying to shake off one man and a couple more. Past the down around 49. A pickup about 14. That's Amherst first down.
Did it right there behind the line. Did you see the push the line had? You saw two offensive linemen right there that he was able to run behind because of the push. They pushed the defensive line back at least 2-3 yards right there to be able to get right there so he can get into the open zone and be able to make that big run. That was a great job right there by the offensive line.
Phenomenal work just creating space for their runner to get going. And now looking to get in the enemy territory. Inside the 40, and able to pick up another Amherst first down. This time, Kaimani, senior, able to get his name written here.
We saw Ken East doing it by the run and by the air. But what will be very interesting right now, Jake, is to see the adjustment. Does Ken East make an adjustment and get more guys into the box right now to try to stop that run? That'll be interesting to see as this game develops as we go further on into the game.
That run by Colvin was a pickup of 12 yards. This time now, Pratt looking to try to cut it to the outside, staying along that right hash, and he'll be dropped at the 36 for the pickup of about 3.
Hamilton and Jets.
You could go 3-3 right now. Right when you're in this side of the territory, that is a recipe for success and an opportunity to get moving the sticks down in their zone right now to try to get a touchdown.
And with this game plan they're doing on offense, Ken Maurice did a lot of time killing the clock. Now Amherst doing the same thing.
Well, the only thing is Kenny's didn't move the clock a lot because of all the penalties. Because we haven't seen penalties, Amherst has really taken that clock down even more.
Another carry up the middle. That's the 35 and down. Once again.
There for
DJ Pratt.
It was a nice lead block right there by Tim Yap. Did you see how he led the way into that hole, kind of pushed the hole to be able to make it happen so that his running back could get even more yards? Or in this case, the quarterback, because he's kind of doing a wildcat thing is what he's doing.
They'll go ahead and pick up a 3rd down and 4. 2:40 and counting to go here in the first quarter. Showing signs of 1, maybe 2 receivers here. But they're going to try and take the carry themselves. Ball trick there. But only able to pick up about a couple yards. We did have a penalty marker that flew in the air. Let's see who the penalty's on.
along with Jeff. Flag down.
Came in late, too.
It's going to be a killer. Ken Maurice offense committing penalty after penalty on their opening drive. Now the defense commits one off a face mask.
That's not a 5-yarder. That's the 15-yard one. Look at that. Because they're doing it from the end of the play, remember, right there. This isn't from the line of scrimmage. It's the end of the play. So that becomes a really big play right there and a penalty against Ken Maurice.
They'll spot it at the 17, 1st and 10. Now trying to hit it over to the outside with a burst of speed, shaking off a couple guys, but hit hard though. Looked like Yap was the ball carrier there. Incoming in was number 15, Miguel Flores. But a nice job by Yapto. He cut it the outside, stopped, looked to move back inside, and able to pick up more yardage that way.
Well, a lot of misdirection. That's what you're seeing is because if you look at the backfield, just watch. If you're trying to watch this game and you don't know the plays that are happening, look at the misdirection that's happening between the quarterback and as well as the running backs. You don't know because they're going in two different directions who's going to get the ball in their hand and which way they're going to take it.
So they credit him 7 yards. 2nd down and 3. Moving it to the right. It is Pratt. Trying to down it. He does. Touchdown. Take it to the
We're going to get a chance to see it. So unfortunately, it was one of the old plays that were there. But you could see did you see that hole open on the right side? Once he got around the end right there, a great job as you saw him take a direct line right to the end zone because of the way that opened up. A great job again. I'll tell you, this offensive line has looked very strong early on in doing what it needs to do for Amherst.
And I think that might have been one of the biggest questions on this team as the extra point is good, connecting Quinn Resendez on the PAT, which is how the size of Amherst, with being such a young team, what were they going to do against the size of this Kenmore East team? And they found ways to do it with the ground and pound attack.
Yeah, they didn't attempt one pass, did they? I don't think they attempted
not.
one. They did it all by the run. And did it by a lot of misdirection. So now that Kenmore East has seen that, what adjustments are going to be made on the defensive side of the ball? And I'm going to tell you that one of the things I'm going to start looking at is how many guys they try to bring into that box. That's that area between the ends, how many guys they try to bring up to stop the run. And then see if Amherst is going to make a wrinkle and go to the air at one point. So it'll be very interesting as the adjustments you'll see in this game. I still, if I'm Kenmore East, have to look for positivity from their offense. They moved the ball very well. They were able to find open guys through the air as well as through the run. It's just the penalties that they've got to clean up. Think about it. One of the keys of this drive was that 15-yard face mask penalty that really set things up for that touchdown.
Yeah, penalties have been a big issue for sure. Kenmore East in this game. 7-7.
Yeah, it really could be right. And I don't disagree with that at all. That's why I said you can't hang ahead right now if you're Kenmore East whatsoever because you know what you're capable of doing. You saw it on that first drive. Just go ahead and pull it through now. You pull that through, and guess what? Good things are going to happen. That's really the key that you got to take away if you're on the sidelines for Kenmore East, because what you're saying is, guys, we're going to do this. We're going to make the stops. We're going to make the adjustments. We still have something to do. But Amherst, I'll tell you, you had your bend, don't break defense right there, and it came through. Now your offense comes. Now you've got positivity that you're going to take out to your defense to say is, now we got to make the big stop because we know we can move the ball as well.
Now I got the football that doesn't want to play nice on the holder. Just wants to keep falling off.
It's not even windy. Like, you don't even see a wind right now. I do feel a little bit, but nothing that I would thought that would take the ball over, because if you look at the flag right now, it's not even moving. There's not even movement, so it's very interesting that we saw it fall off like that. Maybe it just wasn't put on, really so that it stood right there and just be able to fall over easily the way it was sitting on the tee.
Now a squib kick this time for Resendez. This went through the hands of Kent. Now he's got to hold on to it, and he stays up. Low center of gravity, now cutting it to the outside with a burst of speed and able to stay up on his feet to the 45, the midfield marker, and into Amherst territory. A negativity turned into a positivity. What a way for number 10, Tyler Kent, to redeem himself and able to put his team in a great spot.
Kent, you are showing why you are a player to watch out for this season. That right there play proves that what great athletic ability it did. It looked like he was going to get tackled about the 18-yard line, stops, initiates contact, and then takes it to the other side of the field. If you think about it, he probably ran for about 120 yards the way he had to go across the field and then tear it up the way he did. You can see he really shows he's got speed, he's got strength, and he's got the ability to make big things happen, and he did exactly that right there.
Kind of want to see that replay again, and when he had that first contact, when he recovered the ball, that was just incredible, just to stay up with a low center of gravity and then just realize with the awareness and open space he had by cutting it to his left. So this ball is spotted at Amherst 40-yard line. A chance here for Kenmore East to get a score here. Moving over towards the outside, waiting for the block to develop. Nice spin move, and able to stay up on their feet before being dragged down to around the 32-yard line. Noah Price, the senior, able to make that happen.
We do have a scoring update. It's coming from Wilson, as Wilson leads Alden in their Thursday night matchup 13-0.
And here at 40 seconds and counting, 7-0 our score in favor of Amherst off a 10-yard rushing score from C.J. Pratt. Pickup of 8 there by Price. 2nd down and 2 from the snap. Going to give it once more towards the outside, right through the 2 defenders. Picking up the 1st down and brought down at the 25-yard line. That time, Sean Hamilton able to take it himself to move the chains as this clock ticks away. And this clock's going to officially hit 0 here. First quarter in the books, and Amherst on their opening drive able to make a stop on defense on 4th down and then able to respond on their offensive drive with 7 points. We'll see what Kenmore East could do. Can they respond back, as that first quarter action was brought to you by Damon University.
Logistics Plus is a global transportation provider headquartered in Erie, PA, with locations worldwide, including right here in Western New York. Logistics Plus is consistently recognized as a fast-growing transportation and logistics company, great supply chain partner, top freight broker, leading project cargo manager, and a great place to work. With a strong passion for excellence, our 500-plus employees put the plus in logistics.
For an efficient, personal approach for all of your transportation needs, more information about our Buffalo office is available at logisticsplus.com/Buffalo.
Welcome back, everyone, to the NFHS Network. My name is Jacob Fyack. Alongside me is Tom Prince. We're live here at Amherst Central High School, the host of the Amherst Tigers, as Section 6 high school football back in action here. Week 1 divisional matchup between Amherst and the Kenmore East Bulldogs. So far, Amherst up 7-0. But Ken East having a phenomenal return game from the likes of Tyler Kent has put them in a great spot to try to get a score. And looking to do that is Price, but he's met up right away at around the 25-yard line as another penalty marker comes down. Price there, the ball carrier, able to pick up just looked like about a yard or so. And we'll see what the penalty's on. And it looks like it might be against Amherst. Saw the excitement there from Kenmore East. And it's going to be on sportsmanlike conduct on Amherst. So the play ended around the 25-yard line, so it was only a pickup of about 1 yard line, but second time in this game so far, Tom, we've seen it on sportsmanlike conduct penalty, now with 1 on each team.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's gone both ways right now. And I'll tell you, if you think about it, both teams were almost at the same exact spot where they gave up a 15-yard penalty. That's where the face mask penalty was when Amherst took advantage of it. Now can Ken East do the same exact thing with the same exact penalty in the same exact area?
So the ball is spotted at the 13-yard line. Second time this offense has been able to put themselves in the red zone. The last time, weren't able to convert on 4th down. Now with Lubeski in at quarterback for the Bulldogs. 1st and 10. Here's the snap. And then just going to go ahead and take it himself, cut it to the outside, hold on to that ball for dear life. And he'll be put at the, looks like the 10-yard line.
Jake, that's got to be at least the 3rd or 4th snap that I've seen Lubeski save. That he's gone up, showed his athletic ability, made a play up in the air to make sure it's not a bad snap, and turned it into a positive play.
So they'll actually put the ball at the 11-yard line, so a pickup of about 2. Now Lubeski coming into his huddle to see what the play is going to be. Having a substitution, no. Now number 11, Gianni Cedrone is coming in for Flores. See how they spread this offense out. They're going to show 4 wide. 3 wide receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Here's the snap. Try to go for a draw play. He ends up losing the football. And it's picked up by Amherst. That's Maurice Anderson, who's able to scoop up the ball and be brought down by around the 34-yard line. Mark right there by Ken Maurice, and Amherst responds with a turnover.
So, Jake, talk about being right place, right time, right place. That's exactly what happened with Anderson. You saw a great strip right there to be able to take it as he was trying to cut the ball, cut up field at that point, and then Anderson sees that ball on the ground, takes it up, and makes a great play right there and takes it down. But boy, really the key so far in this first half for Kenmore East has just been penalties and now a mistake. Those are the things that you've got to clean up. But the good news is this game is still close. You got the opportunity to do that. Now can Amherst do exactly what it did on that last drive? Take time off that clock and keep moving the ball downfield just like they did on their last drive.
I think the last time they were on their drive, they were more pushed back in their own zone.
Yeah, they were.
Because
down here.
their defense made a big stop on 4th down. So this ball being spotted, they'll put it at the 32. The snap, high over the quarterback's head. Pratt brought down well behind the line of scrimmage. And meeting up at him with a burst of speed was Zaire Grissom, the senior linebacker.
So think about it, Jake, that's what we were talking about on the flip side. How many times did we see Lubeski save that from happening right there? And unfortunately, it gets away, and look at what it could do to a momentum here. This is almost a negative 20-yard play because of a snap like that.
So putting it at the 18-yard line, be 2nd down and 24. Loss of 14 yards. And with Ken East, they've seen so far what Amherst can do with running the football. Let's see how the Tigers respond. Another high snap, able to corral it though this time. And Pratt able to run it up the gut, get past the 20, and be brought down at around the 22. Like I just mentioned, Tom, another high snap, but this time able to just quickly snag it, and luckily the good space by the offensive line created it for him to run up the middle.
But really, we shows the athletic ability of both these quarterbacks right now. It just shows how they really are helping their teammates so they can be successful and still make positive plays. What a gorgeous night out tonight, too. What is it, 62 degrees right now? I mean, what a great night, especially when you were looking at this day. You get soaking wet if you went outside, and now you're enjoying like now a beautiful sky.
3rd down and 19 at the 23. Try to go for the end around, and Yap able to stay up. Now he's brought down by a couple of Kenmore East defenders. And he'll be spotted around the 31-yard line. A good effort to pick up some yardage back, but still 4th down and About 10-plus yards to go.
Nice job of cutting up right there. He found right when he decided to cut that upfield, did a great job. You see, he found open space and just really made sure that he wasn't getting contact, that he was staying away from that contact to be able to get those yards and now get it to where it's a 4th and 10.
They got an extra guy up there on the field. Now he's going to be subbed off.
The first punt by either team today, and we're in the second quarter with 7:30 left inside the half.
And this is going to push back Amherst more. One of the guys on the O-line of the punt team jumped. So push them back where they were originally. So it'll be 4th down and about 16. And Tom, you mentioned about the weather. It was all over West New York, just a torrential downpour at times. And just seeing where it is right now with a nice good sunset, a little cold weather. This feels like what fall
I don't
should be.
consider this is great. I love this weather.
Here's a boot as that looked like past the 40. And it actually didn't, as the line judge will say it was at the 38-yard line. Not a great punt there by Amherst. And once again, Kenmore East. So the first drive, it starts off with a trickery that puts them in the Amherst territory. It gets stopped on 4th down. Their second one was a great return by Kent that put them in great field position, but they ended up fumbling the ball. Now for your third drive here, you're once again in your opponent's territory at the 38. Now what's the case here on what they've already done so far in terms of committing penalties and a big turnover? How does this team adjust now, just needing 38 yards to get a score?
Just put the ball in the end zone, and it's a whole new game. You forget about what happened in the first half. You walk out of tie, 7-7. Could easily still happen right here that you can make it happen.
Just over 7 minutes to go in the first half. 4 wide receivers set, 1 man in motion. From that snap, it's going to be Epps on the jet sweep. Moving it over to the 35, tiptoeing along the 30. But they'll actually say he was down, looks like maybe the 31, 32-yard line. And I will say with this Kenmore East offense, what's been really big positive for them is not only from the athleticism from Lubeski, is also just seeing some of these guys having a nice burst of speed and good run after catches.
Yeah, he had a great burst, especially when you saw him decide to cut it upfield right there. What a great job right along the sideline. Jake, we got 2 scores updated right now. The one big game, West Seneca East taking on Star Point. West Seneca East at the end of the first quarter is up 7-0. And that other game, Wilson and Alden, is 19-0 in favor of Wilson in that one.
2nd down and 3. Trying to run it up the middle. And that time being Sean Hamilton. But it looks like he didn't gain any yardage there. Looked like it might have been a loss of yardage too. So from a 2nd down and 3, they'll make it actually 3rd and 3. Here the Amherst cheerleaders trying to get this fan base up and cheering for her. Could be a big play here from both sides. Just needing 3 yards to go.
And you're in 4th down. In other words, you can go for it on 4th down right now. This is an opportunity. You get 2 shots at this.
Off the snap. Trying to cut it through. Not going to work that time. Great job by Amherst to make sure Kenny's didn't pick up the 1st down. And it looked like they didn't get any yardage there on that one. So 4th down. Excuse me, they actually gave him a yard, so they'll put the ball at the 31. So 4th down, about 2.
That was C.J. Pratt on the tackle, too. Boy, he's doing it on both sides of the ball right now, really making sure his presence is known. But because the way he penetrated in the backfield, he was able to make that tackle from behind right there because of the penetration he got to be able to get back there.
Just over 5 minutes to go here in the first half. 4th and a couple to go. Empty setback pass here. It's caught. Penalty marker is down. But Jaron Williams being brought down by multiple Amherst defenders. Got the 1st down. I think I saw one of the
So
I think might
did
be on
too.
Ken East.
It is. It's sitting right at the 31-yard line. See the flag down? It's sitting in the 0 of the 30 right there. The flag's still sitting there, and it's going against Kenmore East. This really has been the one thing that just has hurt. The three drives that we've really seen has really been because of penalties that have stopped. I know there was a turnover there, but remember, it's been penalties that have slowed each one of these drives.
So let's see what they try to spot the ball here. It's like the 36-yard line they got it at. So this is going to be a 4th down. It's like 4th down and about 8 to go. And what we've seen so far here, I mean, that was another very good pass play. Quick pass option over from Lubeski to Jaron Williams, and it gets negated to a penalty.
You can see Williams and Kent are going to be threats both from the receiving standpoint for this Kenmore East team.
From 4th down, Lubeski rolls out to the right, fires it, and incomplete. Not near the vicinity of his target being Jaron Williams. And that will be a turnover on downs as the Bulldogs trying to find success on offense. Been able to do it at times, but can't seem to get over the penalties they've committed. As for Amherst side of things, they want to try to tidy things up when it comes to the connection of center and quarterback, because that play that put over Pratt's head, that's what was the leading cause of putting him in a chance to punt the ball.
Yeah, and what would have happened if that didn't happen? Could they have moved the ball? Could it have been something where that drive kept alive? Because remember, they made up all those yards to get back to the line of scrimmage.
1st down at the 36, and Pratt is going nowhere. Behind the backfield, had to been at least 4 defenders there. And it looked like Jaron Williams was one of those guys along with Kent. He's been able to do it on both sides of the ball tonight.
You got Pratt paying both ways on one side. You got Kent and Williams doing it both ways on the other side. You can see we've got stars starting to come out and make names for themselves early on in this game.
We'll credit that as a 1-yard loss. 2nd down and 11, the snap. Here comes the first pass attempt here, as that is high and incomplete. Intended receiver there was to number 13, Kaimani Colvin, and Jaron Williams right there. Tried to attempt an interception, but couldn't corral it in while keeping the feet down.
We said we were waiting to see when that first pass would come and what would be the adjustment, but Ken East definitely adjusted very well to it. And you know why I felt that they adjusted well to it? Is you saw right there Pratt roll out. And when you roll out that at a quarterback, you're treating the guys as a run. So you're attacking the run just like you have been, but also had to play the pass. And that's the reason why I think they were being able to so effective in being able to go after that play.
So 3rd down and 11. Running it up the middle, penalty marker flies in as Kent was able to bring down Colvin. They were able to get it to the 40-yard line, which would be pickup of 5 yards. But a penalty marker came flying in during the play. Let's see what Ken East wants to do here.
We must have seen somebody get into the game because we got a little cheer as we saw them kind of take into the field right there for Amherst.
So it was a holding on the offense. Got the official word from the head official. And they'll place that ball at the 25-yard line. Oh, yeah, so they'll say 3rd and 26, so the penalty won't be declined. They'll go ahead and run it up the gut. And a wonderful job there. Looked like number 55 for Ken Maurice. That was Zach Wright, the senior, able to get in right away. And it looked like we got a timeout here by Ken Maurice as well. That clock stops with 3:15 to go. As the defense for the Bulldogs step up, we'll see what they do coming up on the next play. As this timeout's brought to you by Damon University.
Build your next connection. Earn your next internship. Crush your next goal. What will you do next?
Logistics Plus is a global transportation provider headquartered in Erie, PA with locations worldwide, including right here in Western New York. Logistics Plus is consistently recognized as a fast-growing transportation and logistics company, great supply chain partner, top freight broker, leading project cargo manager, and a great place to work. With a strong passion for excellence, our 500-plus employees put the plus in logistics.
For an efficient, personal approach for all of your transportation needs, more information about our Buffalo office is available at logisticsplus.com/.
Welcome back, everyone, to Western New York Athletics, live here on the NFHS Network as the punting unit for the Tigers comes out here, 3:15 to go. And now we got a timeout here. It's like against Amherst. Results clock stay at 3:15. As for these teams coming into this season, start off with Amherst real quick, Tom. We mentioned about a little bit of the inexperienced roster, having just around 20 guys, not just a little over 20 guys on the roster here, with a lot of them being either new guys or guys who were on the team last year but didn't get much varsity experience last season. In fact, when I spoke to, with Jason Beckman, and we also talked to some of the coaching staff as well before this game got started about how, with certain numbers on this team, there were certain occasions where you had to get creative in practice, try to do some, quote, 11-on-11 football, but do it on one side of the field to have them learn about the defense and offense side of things. And we've actually seen that have some success so far, even with the low numbers Amherst has.
And that's when you're going to do combo practices with your JV team as well, right? Because you want to make sure that you've got guys that are in there that understand the system, because then it needs to be a system that everybody learns along, because when you have those low numbers, there is going to be an expectation that guys are going to come up to varsity at one point.
And we got a penalty marker that flies in, looks like on the kick return. And it was on Ken East, so pushed him back 5 yards. And then as for, Kenmore East, last season for them, finishing 2-6, what was in Class B1, but they moved up into now what's Class A2. Along with guys like Kent, Amir Epps being one of those key return guys, Sean Hamilton's name we said too. They've been able to make some impacts out on this field so far, but just so far haven't offensively been able to make it into a touchdown, as this ball gets booted in the Ken East territory, and it puts them at their own 46.
Yeah, I think the only reason we haven't seen the flow yet of this game is strictly because of the flags. That's something that I really believe both coaches are going to go out there and discuss. Those are the mistakes that we can fix, we can get better at, we can clean up, we can take the next step on. All those things can happen from halftime on, from now on. It doesn't matter. It is something that you can absolutely get better at.
Hey, 3 minutes, 6 seconds to go. Ball's at their own 46. Forget the, 2-minute offense. You can have a 3-minute offense here to try and do something. Still within even a one-score reach, no matter how it's been so far. Lubeski going to sling this one downfield, wide open. Nice grab and diving forward to gain some extra yardage. Connection there from Lubeski over to Gianni Jr., and just like that, one play, they're back in Amherst territory.
And you're seeing the replay right now. Great job as he hits Cedrone right there. He around. You saw him kind of dive for those extra yards. but a great job. And again, Ken East moves the ball again right here.
And it looks like we have looks like to be an injury timeout, and it was Cedrone, who's down on one knee, who made that diving grab.
The way he turned, I almost wonder if it was an ankle type thing. Did you see the way he turned when he caught it and had a twist? I almost wonder if it was something on that play was he was making the turn after the catch. And if you look at it, it almost looks like they're looking at his ankle right now. And I think it was just the way the catch and the turn happened.
Yeah, because he caught that ball at around the 37-yard line, and once he did, he tried to dive forward, which put him at the 34. So we got a stoppage in play here, brought to you by Damon University. We'll step aside real quick as he gets attended to by the trainer.
Logistics Plus is a global transportation provider headquartered in Erie, PA, with locations worldwide, including right here in Western New York. Logistics Plus is consistently recognized as a fast-growing transportation and logistics company, great supply chain partner, top freight broker, leading project cargo manager, and a great place to work. With a strong passion for excellence, our 500-plus employees put the plus in logistics.
For an efficient, personal approach for all of your transportation needs, more information about our Buffalo office is available at logisticsplus.com/Buffalo.
Welcome back, everyone, to Western New York Athletics, as number 11, Gianni Cedrone, the junior for Kenmore East, was down on the field after making a diving catch. Good news is, though, he was being attended by the trainer and was able to walk up on his own 2 feet, and he's down there on the sidelines looking like he's ready to get back out there. So the first down and 10. Able to keep it along the right side that time, looking like being Donmir Bibbs. Was able to get it forward close to the 35, but the 30, but they'll say he's at the 32, picking up just about 2 yards.
That looked like another tackle there by number 2, Maurice Anderson. He's really been making an impact on the defensive side of the ball. We've called his name multiple times on those tackles today.
2 minutes to go here. 2nd down and 8 for Ken East. Lubeski taking the snap, looking to his left, firing it to Kent. And it looked like that pass may have just been a bit behind him, incomplete. So a nice job by Amherst defense, just making sure they stayed in their zone coverage. Unfortunately there, Kent just couldn't corral the ball. Looked like it might have been behind him. So just needing 8 more yards to go. Once again, 4th down territory can also come into play. And a penalty marker comes flying in. I wonder if this might be delay of game. Yeah, and Kenmore East game pushed back. As looks like the penalty's there on Ken East. They'll move back to the 37.
But what do you think the tone of coach is going to be during halftime?
I would say his voice and his tone would probably be a lot louder than normal.
Oh, I thought you were going to say a lot louder than me is what I thought you were going to say.
I mean, you know what? There's a good chance that could happen too. From the snap, Lubeski feeling the pressure. Has to roll out to his left. He's going to take it himself as he's able to move it towards the 30. Got hit hard, though. That was by number 23. That was Ben Tiemann, the junior.
So what a time, because they came and told us his number because they had a number switch. You have a hit like that, now we can say exactly who it is. Tiemann, you deserve that one because that was a beautiful hit right there in the open field. That is a tough tackle to make, and what a great job by him right there.
Yeah, no doubt about it, and that's going to bring up a 4th down and 6. Clock ticks away, just over 1 minute to go. Formation, 4 wide, trips to the right, 1 to the left. 1 backfield next to Lubeski. The snap, rolling out to the right, feeling the pressure, fires this one, and it's picked off. Tigers able to commit a turnover and still staying up on his feet into Kenny's territory, brought down inside the 40. Looked like to be number 13, Kaimani Colvin.
So here's so let's talk a little bit of this. Great job right there for the interception and the run back right there. You got 43 seconds still on the clock. You got time to still make something happen down here in this field. But you can see right there, what a great job. You saw as Lubeski rolls out to the right like that, they were set up, Amherst, defensively to be able to get that interception.
Heard one of the many things about Kaimani Colvin is just the hands he's able to have from his junior season. He had an interception last year as well on the defense. Now getting his 2nd career on varsity. Pass almost picked off. That's the 2nd time Jaron Williams almost had a chance for an INT. And that would have been very tough to stop him if he got it.
I think he saw wide open green in front of him is what that was. And you see he's still throwing his hands down. You know he wants that one back because I'll tell you, he may have taken that right to the house.
If we had that camera on the field and you zoomed in, I wonder how big his eyes was.
I bet you they were wide open. Good call on that one, Jake.
So the clock stops at 38.1 seconds. Ball's at Kenny's 39-yard line, 2nd down and 10, and spread them out here, going 4 wide. The snap, the throw, downfield, incomplete. A great job there by not going for the INT, just batting the ball down, that being number 18 for Ken East. That was Noah Price.
Yeah, great job. I agree with you. Sometimes, even though you don't make the interception, it can still be a highlight reel play, and that's what that was. He went up, knocked it down, and made sure this wasn't a play that could be made by Amherst. But I'll tell you, you got to think, even though we talked about, obviously both key coaches are going to go after the penalties, and we'll finish this after this play.
Just needing 10 yards to go. Here comes Yap. Running through the middle. Great gap space there to help him get through. Bring up now a 4th down. But that clock ticks away, less than 20 seconds to go. It's going to be 4th down and about maybe 1.
If they're going to get a shot, they better get in there and get this play off.
7 seconds left. Spread it out 4 wide. The snap. And it's just going to be Yap running the ball to the outside. As the buzzer sounds, he gets brought down out of bounds. And the clock hits 0. And on opening week of high school football in Section 6, Amherst on their home turf up on Ken East in this divisional matchup, 7-0.
Let's just finish that point before we go to halftime right here. My point was going to be is, can both of these teams, even though they want to address the flags, the penalties, I get all that, but could both teams really be going in and saying positive things about their team right now where they can build off in the second half? And when I say that is, think about it. Take away the penalties, Kenny's moved the ball real well. And running the ball today, Amherst has run the ball phenomenal today.
Right.
So you look at both of the positive that these teams has done. You got to build off that right now at halftime is what these coaches do and clean up the penalties, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah, we'll definitely see what the adjustments, the key adjustments are going to be for those teams. Obviously, penalties will be the ones that have to get addressed. But right now we've reached halftime. When we come back, we'll have the start of the second half between Amherst and Kennys, as that first half action was brought to you by Damon University.
Wing nuts. You still got to go.
Have you guys tried Room 40 yet?
Looking for the perfect spot to throw your next party? Say hello to Room 40, our private event space at both WNYAthletics locations. Maybe you got a birthday, a graduation, anniversary, business event, rehearsal dinner, or even a sports banquet. From intimate get-togethers to rowdy celebrations, Room 40 is built to handle it all and fits up to 60 guests, with custom food and drink packages, flexible setups, legendary WNYAthletics hospitality, and all the wings you can handle. If you're planning a celebration or get-together in Buffalo, this is where the party's at. Local vibes, zero stress, all fun. Book Room 40 today and throw a party Buffalo won't forget. Hit the link in our bio or visit wingnutsbuffalo.com/room40 to book now.
All right, well, we'll get
I'll go if you go to Wingnuts.
Deal.
Build your next connection. Earn your next internship. Crush your next goal. What will you do next?
Look, Patriot account is not going to close itself. Looks like you're going to be here late again. I need this by morning.
Oh no, not again. My son has a football game tonight.
WNYAthletics.com. You can link me later.
WNYAthletics, your home for high school sports.
Yes.
300 Level Media is a locally owned and operated, multi-purpose media company right here in Western New York. You'll find us everywhere, covering the Bills, Sabres, Buttes, Bisons, Big Four basketball, local college sports, and much more. Our staff offers a variety of media services, from video production, live event coverage, audio broadcasts, professional voiceovers, camera operation, and videography. Visit www.300levelmedia.com or give us a call at 716-427-2600. This is 300 Level Media.
Logistics Plus is a global transportation provider headquartered in Erie, PA with locations worldwide, including right here in Western New York. Logistics Plus is consistently recognized as a fast-growing transportation and logistics company, great supply chain partner, top freight broker, leading project cargo manager, and a great place to work. With a strong passion for excellence, our 500-plus employees put the plus in logistics.
For an efficient, personal approach for all of your transportation needs, more information about our Buffalo office is available at logisticsplus.com/Buffalo.
After an accident, life can be scary, stressful, tricky. You need Richmond Bona to help navigate the process, because getting a life-changing settlement can not only take time, it can take an emotional toll. The team at Richmond Bona provides high levels of support through all the ins and outs, so you get the settlement you need and the new beginning you deserve.
When the unexpected happens, expect Richmond Bona.
Why do you exercise? To look better? To feel better? To drop a few pounds? To train for an event?
to defy age, or to keep your ability to say yes to the things you love to do. Whatever motivates you, G&G Fitness Equipment is here to get you there. Treadmills, ellipticals, rowers, bikes, home gyms, and accessories. We'll pair you with the right equipment, teach you how to use it, and be there every step of your fitness journey. G&G Fitness. Your goal is our goal.
Welcome back, everyone, to Western New York Athletics, live here at Amherst Central High School. My name is Jacob Fyack. Alongside with me is Tom Prince, as we got opening high school football week here in Section 6 as Amherst against Ken East. It's been a low-scoring battle for both sides, but Amherst out in front 7-0, with the only score coming from their starter in junior running back, also quarterback here, C.J. Pratt, with a 10-yard rushing touchdown. They had a minute 23 left in the first quarter. And then we've also had some really good defensive play from Amherst defense, and Maurice Anderson with a fumble recovery. And then number 13, Kaimani Colvin, were on 4th down, able to pick off the pass from Ken East's quarterback, Julian Lubeski. And so far, I mean, that and the other big thing, in this contest as well, Tom, has been the penalties that have been taking part in this contest.
Yeah, it really is. And I want to throw another name in. You already talked to him on one side of the ball, but Pratt has also been effective on the other side of the ball as well. He's playing very well both ways. No doubt, Amherst has some great momentum right here. And you can see what they've done into this game was try to establish the run. They really have done a great job of running the ball and showed their line has been effective against a very good Ken East line. They really have done such a good job of running the ball right now. Even when you saw, we've seen them throw the ball twice, 3 times? 3 times.
Yeah.
Because it was twice on the last play. It was only one time coming into that last drive that we only saw one pass play. But they really are doing it by the run, and especially when you know a team's gonna run that, and you're still being effective, really shows how good really Amherst has been so far today. Now remember, tale of 2 halves. We have seen Kenmore East move the ball. There's no doubt that they can move the ball and be effective. They clean up the penalties, and again, 1 turnover, really no, 2 turnovers, I apologize. 1 that went on the ground, 1 that went by the air. 2 turnovers and multiple penalties have been the reason why Kenmore East hasn't put points up on the board. They fixed that up. I'll tell you right now, Jake, in the second half, they can really come back. And you got to think, if you're coach, if I would have told you had as many penalties as you did and had 2 turnovers down inside the opposing territory, but you're only down by 7, most coaches would say, okay, I could fix that and be able to come back in the second half. And that's exactly what Kenmore East has got to believe.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And with Kenmore East offensively, I mean, we've seen it, throughout this contest. The positives from it has been, the connections from Julian Lubeski, who's at quarterback. He's been able to find his guys, Tyler Kent, Amir Epps, Jaron Williams, Miguel Flores as a running back. He's also had some time as well. Sean Hamilton being another one. This offense has been at times, from a play or two, able to get down the field, and Lubeski's been a big part of that, able to toss the ball down the field quickly. We even had Amir Epps, the first play of the game, of trickery pass to throw the ball 40-plus yards down the field. So this offense can get going.
Yep, I agree.
It's just, how are you going to able to limit those turnovers as low as possible, and when are we going to see that consistent flow from one drive to the next? Because that could be a big difference maker.
I'm going to put it all in one word: limit mistakes. Period. It's just mistakes, because these penalties are mistakes. And then the turnovers are mistakes. You limit those, and I'm telling you, we really can see a team that could put up points. Would you be surprised if Ken East all of a sudden put 21 points up in the second half?
I would not be surprised.
No, absolutely not. I wouldn't be either. And at the same time, though, the way Amherst is controlling the clock, what they're trying to do is to make sure they're limiting the amount of times Ken East can touch the ball right now. You take that clock, keep winding it down, and winding it down, that would be the recipe for success right now for Amherst.
Yeah, that's definitely the recipe, and it's also had some success with it as well by the amount of times they've run the ball and killed clock. And their opening drive was result of that ended with a touchdown.
And listen, I expect a completely different second half for both of these teams. But both of these teams have positivity to build off of to be able to go after a win. And remember what I said when we started this game. Remember one of the things we said? These are two young teams that whoever could come off with a big win, it could be a great vaulting into the rest of the season and a great opportunity. Folks, you got to hear what this A2 division is loaded this year. Kenmore East, just look at who they got next. They got Health Sciences waiting in the win next, what we know is a top team. Will East, senior heavy this year. What a great team they're going to have. North Tonawanda, Hamburg, McKinley, who again went how far last year. Grand Island, always in the mix. Ken West, always, and that's a rivalry game, so that you're going to go ahead in. And then you look at Amherst. Amherst goes McKinley, NT, Health Sciences, Grand Island, Hamburg, Will East. That's all conference stuff. And then they got to go ahead and take on Sweet Home, which you know is always a tough game, whether you're going to go out there. The only difference with the Sweet Home thing is we'll find out. They got a new quarterback that's going to be in the helm. That's been, remember, 3 years we saw a different quarterback at Sweet Home. We're going to see the first different one that we've seen for 3 years.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And now we see Amherst still getting prepped and ready to go. Ken East about to walk out to their respective sidelines. We'll go ahead and step aside. When we come back, we'll have second half action between Ken East and Amherst.
Logistics Plus is a global transportation provider headquartered in Erie, PA with locations worldwide, including right here in Western New York. Logistics Plus is consistently recognized as a fast-growing transportation and logistics company, great supply chain partner, top freight broker, leading project cargo manager, and a great place to work. With a strong passion for excellence, our 500-plus employees put the plus in logistics.
For an efficient, personal approach for all of your transportation needs, more information about our Buffalo office is available at logisticsplus.com/Buffalo.
Wingnuts. You still got to go.
Have you guys tried Room 40 yet?
Looking for the perfect spot to throw your next party? Say hello to Room 40, our private event space at both Wingnuts locations. Maybe you got a birthday, a graduation, anniversary, business event, rehearsal dinner, or even a sports banquet. From intimate get-togethers to rowdy celebrations, Room 40 is built to handle it all and fits up to 60 guests. With custom food and drink packages, flexible setups, legendary Wingnuts hospitality, and all the wings you can handle. If you're planning a celebration or get-together in Buffalo, this is where the party's at. Local vibes, zero stress, all fun. Book Room 40 today and throw a party Buffalo won't forget. Hit the link in our bio or visit wingnutsbuffalo.com/room40 to book now.
All right, well,
I'll go if you go to Wingnuts.
Deal.
Why do you exercise? To look better? To feel better? To drop a few pounds? To train for an event? To defy age? Or to keep your ability to say yes to the things you love to do? Whatever motivates you, G&G Fitness Equipment is here to get you there. Treadmills, ellipticals, rowers, bikes, home gyms, and accessories. We'll pair you with the right equipment, teach you how to use it, and be there every step of your fitness journey. G&G Fitness. Your goal is our goal.
After an accident, life can be scary, stressful, tricky. You need Richmond Bona to help navigate the process, because getting a life-changing settlement can not only take time, it can take an emotional toll. The team at Richmond Bona provides high levels of support through all the ins and outs, so you get the settlement you need and the new beginning you deserve.
When the unexpected happens, expect Richmond Bona.
Look, Patriot account is not going to close itself. Looks like you're going to be here late again. I need this by morning.
Oh no, not again. My son has a football game tonight.
WNYAthletics.com. You can link me later.
WNY Athletics, your home for high school sports.
Yes.
Build your next connection. Earn your next internship. Crush your next goal. What will you do next?
Logistics Plus is a global transportation provider headquartered in Erie, PA with locations worldwide, including right here in Western New York. Logistics Plus is consistently recognized as a fast-growing transportation and logistics company, great supply chain partner, top freight broker, leading project cargo manager, and a great place to work. With a strong passion for excellence, our 500-plus employees put the plus in logistics.
For an efficient, personal approach for all of your transportation needs, more information about our Buffalo office is available at logisticsplus.com/Buffalo.
Welcome back, everyone, to Western New York Athletics, live here on the NFHS Network. My name is Jacob Fyack. Alongside with me is Tom Prince, live here at Amherst Central High School, home of the Amherst Tigers, and as their home opener to start off this season, right on their turf, playing against a divisional matchup against the Kenmore East Bulldogs, where so far this game, we've seen Amherst being able to come and prevail and able to put up the first touchdown of the game late in the first quarter, whereas the Kenmore East team has been finding ways to get down the field, but their penalties have really stalled out their drives on offense to get that goose egg off the board.
If you think about it, they did get in the end zone, but it got called back because of that leaping over that we saw. It was a great play, don't get me wrong, because if it was at the next level, we'd be talking about a highlight play there by Kent. But unfortunately in high school, you do that leap, they're going to call a penalty, and that came back, and they unfortunately weren't able to put points on the board.
Second half action resuming with a ball going out of bounds. So the penalty marker comes in as that kick out of bounds will put Amherst in some very, very good field position.
We got a score update. This is actually some scoring happening against West Seneca East and Star Point. West Seneca East is now up 21-7 over Star Point. We've heard a lot about West Seneca East. You've always known them as a running team. Run, run, run. They now are able to pass the ball this year. They're doing a little bit of a mix. And I'll tell you, they're coming out against a very good Star Point team that is always in the mix year after year. That's a great start early on for West Seneca East to see them get back into the mix.
I was going to mention, I heard Star Point was going to be another team that's going to create a challenge with their opponents, and so far West Seneca East has been able to find success early on. And you know who's also been finding success has been this Amherst running attack so far, able to run that up the right side to pick up a good chunk of yardage.
Yeah, great job. And look, when you run up the gut right that, or even off the center, and that was, as you saw, off to the center right there to the right, what a great job. If you're getting penetration like that, that's your line, winning the line of scrimmage right there. And Amherst is really doing a great job of winning the line of scrimmage today.
Picking up about 7 yards on that play to bring up a 2nd down and 3. Still showing about quarterback and tailback with one wide receiver to the right. And now they're going to go ahead and fake it. Try to get over to the outside and able to stuff him behind the line of scrimmage. number 15, Miguel Flores, and number 55, Zach Wright, as the ball carrier there for Amherst, losing some yardage and then pushed them back to the 39 for a loss of 3.
Yeah, they read that one really well and got great penetration into the backfield. When you get not only one guy penetrating back there, but you get two, that's exactly what's going to happen right there.
So right now, the formation for Amherst moving over to the left.
Look how many guys in the box. Remember I said the adjustment, Jake? Every guy but one is in that box right now.
Now from the snap, trying to use his blockers. Kent's right there, though, right away, along with Wilson, and brought down. And that looks like to be enough for a first down. They have him just about a yard or two away from the first down marker, and they're saying he got it.
Yeah, great push right there. Give credit right not only to the running back, but give credit right there to the line, because it was an entire push right there to be able to get that first down.
So beautiful job there. That was a pickup of about 9 yards. This Amherst team having some success with the helps of Tim Yap, CJ Pratt, and even sometimes Kimani Colvin as well. 1st and 10, Pratt wrapped up immediately behind the line of scrimmage, and it's Flores once again along with number 19, Zaire Grissman. Grissman had that big play earlier in the first half where the ball went over Pratt's head, went a line right to the, went to Pratt to get him a big loss. So going to say here that no gain was made. No loss of yardage as well, so 2nd down and 10.
Remember we talked about what Amherst was doing well? Look at the clock already. Look at how much time's come off this clock just on this first drive alone.
The snap and the give over the Yap to the right side, past the original line of scrimmage, going to the midfield marker, and he'll be put, looks like at Ken East 46, maybe 47. It looks like they'll put it at the 46.
Great job blocking by Ben Tiemann. We talked to him, remember, earlier about that big hit that he had. But what he did right there was lead block and actually had to block and take on Kent on that last one. He did a great job of being able to just get in front of him, make those blocks, so he can make that turn and get up the field to get those extra yards. Give him credit right there because blocking was key.
And that credit gave 6 positive yards for Amherst. 3rd and 4. The snap, running it up the gut, picking up the first down and more, and he's wrapped up and brought down at the 30-yard line. Kimani Colvin, able to burst through, pick up a gain of about 16.
Nice misdirection, but he saw that hole open up right up the gut is where that was. Right up the center is where that hole went in, and he took advantage of it and got that first down. And you're seeing it right there. Great job right there you saw. But did you see the misdirection? And then he turned it right up where the center is. He did a great job of being able to make that a positive play. So we got an injury out there for Kenmore East. Looks like it's Amir Epps, too, that I think went down.
Yeah, he's down on one knee. As with the injury timeout, stops the clock at just over 8 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter. And as he gets the 10-2, we'll go ahead and step aside. 7-0 is our lead here. Amherst out in front, looking to make it a 2-score lead as this injury timeout brought to you by Damon University.
Logistics Plus is a global transportation provider headquartered in Erie, PA with locations worldwide, including right here in Western New York. Logistics Plus is consistently recognized as a fast-growing transportation and logistics company, great supply chain partner, top freight broker, leading project cargo manager, and a great place to work. With a strong passion for excellence, our 500-plus employees put the plus in logistics.
For an efficient, personal approach for all of your transportation needs, more information about our Buffalo office is available at logisticsplus.com/Buffalo.
Welcome back, everyone, to Western New York Athletics off the injury timeout. first down at the 30-yard line. And a run over towards the left side, getting tripped up and brought down to the 28-yard line. As running the play that time once again was C.J. Pratt, picking up a couple yards.
Great penetration, though, by Wright and Grissom on that one, as they both got into the backfield to really cause some havoc and make it very hard for him to be able to get positive yards, even though he does, but a great job by the defense right there to get penetration and make it tough.
So from that formation, they'll keep with the one wide receiver to the right side, some extra blocking to help out with the running attack. As Pratt shaking off one defender, going along the right hash, and brought down past the 35. They'll officially put him at the 34. Oh, excuse me, 24, just off by 10 yards. Picking up 4 yards.
But again, think about that. Clock just keeps ticking right here. We're now coming into the 6-minute mark over here. About 6:30 is what we're about to come up on. Think about that. That means they've held the ball for half the quarter already. They're doing exactly what the recipe is. Make sure we hold the ball and don't give multiple opportunities to Kenmore East. That's what they're doing by this run game.
3rd down and 4. The snap. Colvin going to take it once more. Brought down, loses the ball. It's picked up, though, by Amherst. Penalty marker comes flying in as the gentleman that picked it up looked like it was Tim Yap, and he got brought down inside the 10.
Was there a penalty flag thrown?
Oh, excuse me. That must have been a marker
I think that was
where
the marker.
where
It was the marker that
penalty,
got thrown.
oh, excuse
Yep.
me, where the fumble happened.
Yeah, they were marking the fumble on that one. But no, great job, great heads-up play. Amherst keeps moving that ball right now.
So what originally was a first down ended up being a fumble, and Yap's able to pick it up and put themselves in a goal line situation. Last time they were in this spot, it resulted in 6. The snap, run up the middle. It's Pratt once more trying to get to the end zone, and he's short by a couple of yards, though.
Late flag, just threw it in. That's going to be some sort of unsportsmanlike conduct is what's going to happen, or face mask that late. But I'll tell you, the way there was John at the end, you got to think that's going to be some sort of unsportsmanlike conduct penalty.
Ref placed the ball at the 3-yard line. But like you mentioned, Tom, the key thing here is the penalty and who's it on. And it's going to be on Amherst.
And that's exactly what it was, an unsportsmanlike conduct. And now again, another penalty down in the red zone for one of these teams. Can they overcome it will be the question right now for Amherst.
And that was the one thing, before that penalty marker even happened, I was going to just have a little discussion with you, Tom, just to how you mentioned the amount of time of clock they're killing, because this is their opening drive of the second half. They chewed off more than half the time of the quarter. Going down the field with a chance to make a double-digit lead, they still could have a chance to do it, but that penalty sets them back.
But what it does, though, the one interesting it does, it gives them time to keep killing clock and keep the ball away from Kenmore East. That is a very interesting thing to see how this plays out.
That's a keynote to keep in the pocket there, Tom, just to see how much more time they could kill. Able to shimmy past one defender along the right side. Still staying up on the feet, now officially brought down close to the 10-yard line. See who they officially spot it. But now we're just over 5 minutes to go here in the third quarter.
That was Nadescu on the carry right there, showing that speed. Did you almost see how he was waiting to make the cut upfield? He was almost faking a couple times that he was going to take it up, and then he eventually does for another positive play.
So it's 3rd down with 11 yards to go. Still considered 3rd and goal here. Now the keep, running it up the middle. It's Colvin, and he got hit hard, held onto that ball for dear life. Great tackle there by Donmir Bibbs, but an even better job by Colvin to put this now in a 4th and goal, 4th and short situation. Looks like they put it at the 3-yard line, Tom.
And boy, they really are doing such a great job of moving the ball by the run.
Let's see what they do here on this one. Got Pratt next to him with Tim Yap. And a penalty marker's down.
I'm wondering if this is offsides because Kenmore East is complaining. I think it could be an offsides call.
It is. It's encroachment on the defense.
So now you're getting half the distance to the goal on this one. Now you're making it even more of a possibly manageable play.
So just what looks like to be 1 yard. And that clock resumes play. There's a big play here, Tom. Pratt under center. Tush push time. Does he get in?
I don't think he's in. No signal.
The whistle. Ken Maurice is celebrating like they didn't get it. And it doesn't look like he got in.
Unless we see a late call right here, this will be a turnover on downs.
I saw the line judge on the far right side.
He just marked it, Jake. Look where it is.
Wow, Tom, that is inches away from the end zone. Ken Maurice defense stuffs Amherst on a 4th and goal. That was a drive, Tom, that went 64 yards and killed almost 9 minutes of clock.
Yeah, I mean, it was a great drive for Amherst. The only thing that they wanted to say is, but we didn't put it in for points. That's the only thing you could say that was really negative about that drive. And if you think about it, I understand the call right there because they've had twice that they've had that play. It's been successful for them. So I understand the reason why you call it, but give Kenmore East credit because they make the adjustment and they're now going to get the opportunity to see if they can go 99.5 yards for their score themselves.
And for the folks that are tuning in right now, Kenmore East defense stopped Amherst at the 1 yard line for turnover on downs. But Ken East, they're not out of the woods on this situation. 1st down and 10 at the 1. Lubeski fires it in. That one is caught. Going past the 10 to the 15 and down to the 20. He's tackled from behind to around the 27-yard line. A pickup of 26 from the connection of Julian Lubeski to Donmir Bibbs.
Great play. Great call right there. But you saw almost from the beginning of that play, because it was coming right towards us, Jake, he was wide open from the beginning. It was almost like he got too much cushion on that, but he really took advantage of it. When he caught that ball, saw open space, took it back to the middle of the field, and a great opportunity right now where they now have open field and an opportunity to do something big to see if they can tie this game up.
And we have a timeout on the field as there's an injured Amherst Tiger down. So Amherst up 7-0. They got stuffed on a 4th and goal spot. Now Kenny's trying to move the ball. We'll see if they do. We'll come back out of this break that's brought to you by Damon University.
After an accident, life can be scary, stressful, tricky. You need Richmond Bona to help navigate the process because getting a life-changing settlement can not only take time, it can take an emotional toll. The team at Richmond Bona provides high levels of support through all the ins and outs, so you get the settlement you need and the new beginning you deserve.
When the unexpected happens, expect Richmond Bona.
Wing nuts. You still got to go.
Have you guys tried Room 40 yet?
Looking for the perfect spot to throw your next party? Say hello to Room 40, our private event space at...
Welcome back, everyone, to Western New York Athletics, live here on the NFHS Network. They put the ball at the 28-yard line as we got a official's timeout. So that pass from Julian Lubeski to Donmir Bibbs was a pickup of 27 yards. And that was something, Tom, we saw from this offense throughout some parts of the first half, but the penalties were a big part of that dismay. And as this has been another one as well with the turnovers and now the bobbed snapped. So they're going to lose a good amount of yards here to bring up second down and about 16.
I mean, we talked about the snaps and how many times in that first half did we see them saved by Lubeski. He saved a bunch of those, and unfortunately not able to save that one right there. But think about it, 2 turnovers and the center exchange right there, the center snap, because they're in the shotgun, you can see that's really been something that's got to get cleaned up.
Showing 4 wide receivers. The snap, it's low again. And Tom, I'm going to be honest, I'm a little confused there. They spot the ball dead.
Well, I didn't think he had possession of it. That's why but they're saying he went down. He must have, when he went down, had possession because the ground will stop the play right there, and then it kicked out.
And because some of the Amherst defenders, they look like to be a bit confused too.
But remember, a knee touches the ground, body touches the ground, play ends. So if you had the ball the minute that it touched the ground, you can't go ahead and get that ball. So hold on. They're going to call timeout, and I wonder if they're going to discuss this with Coach. Because they called timeout and walked over to Coach right now.
Yeah, I think that's they're just going to give him the explanation.
They're just explaining what happened. I think it's because a body part went down on that field, and that called the play dead right there.
So a 3rd down and about 23 yards to go. They got to get to their own 38-yard line to pick up the first.
But remember, they have got plays in their bag to be able to still make this happen. We saw it how it started off. This could still be an opportunity right now for your team.
Showing 4 wide receivers. Lubeski gets the snap. It's high, but it's caught. It's like Jaron Williams is the one that gets it. And he was stopped right at around the 20-yard line. So it'll be a pickup of about 5 yards. And I'll bring up a 4th and extremely long.
Yeah, you're going to have to punt the ball right here. So this should give Amherst pretty decent field position, you've got to think. And it could even be an opportunity where they could start this next set of plays inside Kenny's territory. That'll be very interesting to see what they do with this punt, where their starting position is going to be. Because take a look, he's not going to go past the 50-yard line. He's going to sit right about the 50-yard line is where he's going to sit to be able to take this ball. He's just got to take it up a couple yards.
And that's a high snap that
they're going to get saved by that penalty flag right there.
Yeah, I was going to say they got saved by the penalties. That was a high snap. And it looks like it's going to be a false start. It's going to be on the punt team. So punting the ball away will be Gianni Cedrone. And then the return man for Amherst being Maddox Nadescu. A very high punt, short one as well, as Amherst trying to avoid not touching it. It doesn't go far. It stays in Kenny's territory. I want to say maybe the 29-yard line is where Amherst is going to start off.
So think about the time of possession right now inside this third quarter. It was about 8.5 minutes for Amherst, about 2 minutes right now for Kenmore East. So we said what was going to be the recipe for success for Amherst? Control the time of possession. And they really have done that. You've got to give them credit right now here inside the second half. Now the question becomes, you left the ball on the half-yard line. Can you come down and be able to put points up on the board now? Chop block.
So there was a couple of plays on that
Yeah, they
on the
declined
punt
them all,
return team, they
and I would have
declined
too, because you're sitting here. How are you going to get any better right now than the 29-yard line unless you go block a punt or you do something like that? But I am exactly right here. You decline these penalties and you get great field position to start things off.
So for Amherst, another chance here to make this a double-digit lead. Looks like the officials are still talking about it, and
the only thing we haven't seen is also we haven't seen the sticks move. They haven't got set up for where they're going to start.
well, the punt did end at the 29. That's where it officially stopped, at least. But I mean, the officials are still taking a discussion
but
about
they're
it.
going the wrong. They're going the wrong way. It's Amherst ball. It's got to go the opposite way. See how they're set, where they're set up?
So did they accept the penalties?
Well, that's the question now. Did they change it? Because you saw him give that
Yeah,
they declined.
they both declined the penalties.
They may have changed it. That's why we saw the ref walk over to coach. So they may have made a different call and accepted one of these. But there's still offenses on the field for Amherst. So this had to be a post penalty that they accepted after the play.
I wonder if the chop block may have been the
no, that's
one
well.
of the
He
penalties.
said. I mean, he went and said it was declined after the chop block. You saw that. So, and this is a 15-yard penalty, so there was some sort of unsportsmanlike conduct penalty to be able to give them this field position. So we'll see. He's going to come out right now.
So it was false start. That was declined on Ken East. Chop block on Ken East. And that's the one they accepted.
That's what they accepted. That. But if you saw, that's why he redid this, because
Right.
he absolutely said that was declined too, but that's the accept right there to be able to take the ball where they are.
Well, it's week one for a reason. All getting back into the thick of things here in this high school football season. So first down and 10 at Kenny's 15. Amherst trying to get all done in one play. Won't get it, though. But they get a nice chunk of yardage up the middle as we have less than a minute to go in the third.
But I got to be honest with you, I think they're not even worried if they score right now. They just want that clock to keep ticking and make sure it's less and less possessions right now for Kenmore East.
.30 seconds. Pickup of 7 yards. So off the second down, here's Pratt. Gets wrapped up by two guys. As number 19 being one of those guys to come up in Zaire Grissom. Help bring him down for a loss of yardage. And this clock will tick away here, and both teams will head back to their respective sidelines. And after 3 quarters of play, Amherst remains out in front on Ken East, 7-0. Fourth quarter coming up soon. We'll be back out of this timeout break that's brought to you by Damon University.
Why do you exercise? To look better? To feel better? To drop a few pounds? To train for an event? To defy age? Or to keep your ability to say yes to the things you love to do? Whatever motivates you, G&G Fitness Equipment is here to get you there. Treadmills, ellipticals, rowers, bikes, home gyms, and accessories. We'll pair you with the right equipment, teach you how to use it, and be there every step of your fitness journey. G&G Fitness. Your goal is our goal.
Welcome back, everyone, to the NFHS Network. We're West New York Athletics, live here at Amherst Central High School. My name is Jacob Fyak. Alongside with me is Tom Prince. Division matchup in Class A2 to start off this high school football season, where Amherst is up on Kent East 7-0. A low-scoring affair, but the Tigers, with a fresh full quarter to go on a 3rd down and 7, just needing 13 more yards, try to get this up to a double-digit lead.
We've seen misdirection tonight. That's been the key to the success of the run game right here for Amherst. Let's see what they're going to do to disguise right now that run game to see if they can get in the end zone. But I'll tell you, it seems to be down in the red zone. We've seen this Kent East defense really step up and make some big plays, including that last play we just saw before the end of the 3rd quarter.
Needing 7 yards to go. Here's the carry, goes over to Yap. As he tries to spin by, get forward to as close as he can to the 1st down. He was brought down at around the 10, maybe the 9-yard line. Be a pick of about 3 to 4 yards. And we have an injury timeout as an Amherst Tiger is down.
And this is kind of what we start to see in the second half early in the season. You do see it all season long, but remember, when the weather normally is warmer, what happens is we see a lot of cramping. And the way to be able to stop the cramping is it's not drinking water today. It has to be the last couple days. You got to make sure you're getting enough fluid intake, water fluid intake, to make sure that this doesn't happen out in the field for you, because as you get into the game and some of that lactic acid builds up and all those different things that can happen as you are out there playing for, we're going on what? Almost 2 hours right now. We're coming up to the 9 o'clock mark. So you've been out there 2 hours playing hard. You got to make sure that water's done for you.
Yeah, staying hydrated over the past couple of days is very crucial when playing this sport. Tom, while we still have the time here, just as we're here in the John M. Elston press box here for this game, this Amherst team, not doing anything flashy. You've seen what they've been able to do consistently throughout the game. And even with the adjustments you've seen from Kent East so far, talking about mainly Amherst offense, Kent East defense, Amherst is still getting it done.
Absolutely.
They're still being very successful.
Why would you change anything until they stop you?
Right.
I would keep doing the same exact thing if I was Amherst right now. Until I'm stopped, I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing because it's working. But I will say this. You got to put the ball into the end zone right here. You got to give. It is 4th down, though. This will be a tough 4th down. But we said is you can't keep getting down here, not putting points up on the board, and be able to give Kent East another shot, because we know that offense can move the ball. Oh, they're going to try kicking a field goal.
You know what, Tom? A part of the back of my mind thought this could be a possibility, considering the PAT. The kicker who made the PAT, Quinn Resendez, had a very good leg while doing it. So with this short of a distance, they're going to try and go for it. Snap is down. Great boot by Resendez. But unfortunately, the kick is no good. Had the distance, just trajectory of the ball, couldn't go through the goalpost.
Just missed it. I'll tell you, I had to wait to see the signal from the umpires down there to see whether that was good or not. That was that close from the angle we're sitting at to be able to say is I got to wait and see what that call was going to be. So I understand. Great call. If they kick that, that's still a 2-score opportunity and does you just as good right now as a touchdown, because you were at least making Kenmore East having to score twice if you would have gotten that.
And with all that being said, with all that's gone on with this Kenmore East offense, they're still down 1 score.
Yep, you still can do something about it. You still can make something happen.
80 yards to go. That's what they got to do. They have plenty of time for it. Here's Lubeski with the pass here. It's caught by Kent into some tight coverage as he's brought down. Looks like maybe the 26-yard line, pick up about 6 yards.
I'll tell you, Kent seemed to be the focus of the Ken Maurice team in that first drive, early on in the first quarter. He's been a little bit quiet since then. That's a great opportunity right there that you saw Lubeski go back to him to try to make something happen. I'm looking at Kent. I'm looking at right now my big guys that can make plays. Williams, Kent, all my guys right now that I know that can do something. You should expect to see that we're going to see them go to the air right here and try to go to their playmakers.
So actually pick him up for about a 7-yard pass to Kent. And both guys jumped on each side.
I think that's going to be on, though, the offense, because you see how far he crossed before the jump happened.
Not as far as the way Stephon Diggs did it before, if you remember. If you know, you know.
But at least when you bring up that name, everybody goes, good, it was something negative that happened, because that's what all the Buffalo Bills fans are thinking right now. Oh, they're talking this one over, and it looked like everybody went back for Ken Maurice, and it was going against them, and they're talking it over. Are they going to turn this and make it against Amherst?
Because Amherst jumped first.
Yeah, and that's exactly what they're going to do.
And that's when Ken East, that wide receiver, jumped as well. So it's an encroachment penalty on Amherst defense, and that will bring a new set of downs for Ken East. But to go back to about Tyler Kent, he was a guy last year who didn't get much on offense, but for the defense, he was tied for the top spot last season in tackles for a loss, and he also led the team last season in sacks. But good to see him do it on both sides of the ball this year, getting much more time, now entering his senior year. Here's now Epps off the jet sweep, getting a burst of speed, picking up the first down, still staying up on his feet. He got past the 45 and brought down, looks like maybe the 46 or 47, but nonetheless, 10-plus yards, another first down for Ken East.
Great job by the offensive line. Did you see the lead blocking right there? Everything off to the right side. Great job by the lead blockers, and it got him 5 yards down the field before he was even worried about any contact right there.
Pickup of about 14 yards. Now Kenny's looking to see if they can just get some flow going on this offensive drive.
And this has been the best flow we've probably seen since the first quarter. This really has been the drive that we knew and expected could happen from this Kenny's team.
Spreading it out 4 wide, trips to the left, and a penalty marker comes flying in, and it's going to be a delay of game.
Yeah, you can see the clock on 0-0 underneath the scoreboard over there. But again, this is that another penalty inside of a drive that's working right there. Can East overcome it this time, though?
So still sticking with that same formation, showing 4 wide. The snap, Lubeski chucking this one deep downfield, incomplete. Looked like he wanted a flag, not going to get it there. The intended receiver that time looked like was Jaron Williams, as Lubeski showing off that arm strength, but just couldn't connect to his man.
Yeah, I really like what we've seen from Lubeski. I think we're going to hear from him as this season progresses. He's got a cannon for an arm. He really has hit so many different opportunities to his wide receivers. I really think as he gets more and more snaps underneath his belt that we're going to really hear from him.
So Williams will move towards the right side. He'll go along with his teammate in Bibbs. Now having some quick talk there is Lubeski, getting it back in shotgun formation. Second down. Now trying to go for a pass here. Lubeski, another shot downfield, and it's caught by Jaron Williams. What a strike. He ends up losing the ball, though. And Amherst will pick it up inside the 10-yard line, recovered by Mohan Tagadim.
But did you see it was, I'm pretty sure that was number 3 right there who knocked that out. Resendez is who's the one who did that. Did you see him? He did not give up on that play. He stayed with it the whole time and knocks it out. Let's see the replay right here. Oh, wow. So apologize, we didn't be able to get that, but you can see right there, he does not give up on that play, and look at that huge turnover opportunity right here. I'll tell you, Jake, 9 minutes left inside this game. We've already seen how Amherst can drive. Can they control the clock for the rest of the quarter? Is that a possibility?
Well, they were able to do it close to 9 minutes in the third quarter on their last drive that they had, as they keep this ball on the ground, and Ken East just sending them back as far as they can as that clock ticks away. There's definitely doable, Tom, for them to try to get a good chunk of this clock down.
That's their goal. They really want to do everything they can right now to make sure that Ken East doesn't have enough time to put points on the board.
I'll tell you what, a big thing, that can change the course of a game. Obviously, penalties are one, but another thing that we saw so far that, that's happened more so that I'm sure Ken East would have loved to see has been the fumbles as well.
Oh, yeah.
They've had a couple of them as we got a timeout called here. Second quarter, it was for Amherst. Anderson recovering a fumble. And like you mentioned, you believe Resendez made Jaron Williams strip that ball away from him, and then Mohan Tagadim recovers it late in this game.
Yeah, I mean, this really has just been a great job by Amherst. They really came in with a game plan, and you got to be impressed with the game plan. They wanted to run the ball, they wanted to control the clock, and they wanted to play good defense. If you would have said to Amherst, hey, listen, you're going to go deep into the fourth quarter and have a shutout going, what do you think those coaches would be talking about right there? Go, wow, that's exactly the way we would want to open up the season. And they really have done it. And again, we, though, have seen so many positive things from the Kenmore East team, too, that I really believe they clean up a couple things. You could be talking about where we could have seen, like I talked about at halftime, 21 points, 28 points. You could have easily seen them put up that.
From the snap, it's going to go to Yap, and he's quickly brought down to the outside as Jaron Williams looking to redeem himself after coughing up the ball, comes up there on the tackle. And I will say, when it comes to the outside run at times, Kenny's defense seems to make some adjusts there when it comes to positioning themselves and getting nice angles on the ball carrier when they try to go outside.
Give them credit right now. This may be the best defensive plays we've seen by them so far. They make a big stop here, and Amherst is going to have to punt this far down. Kenmore East is going to get themselves incredible field position and opportunity to tie it up.
So a third down. Colvin lost the ball. And very fortunate to get it back. I'll bring up fourth down, very, very long. And we have just over 7 minutes to go in this one.
This is big because you've got to punt the ball deep in your territory. You got to think Kenmore East is going to go after this. You got to go after it right here. But look at where they're coming out. They're going to try to come out here maybe to the 30-yard line. This should be incredible field position right now for Kenmore East.
The last punt by Amherst was not so successful. And this ball is pinned at their own one. You get the snap, they get the boot. That's a high arcing punt that doesn't get to the 20-yard line. It goes to where the original first down marker would have been, plus one more. Ken East has the ball at Amherst's 16-yard line.
This is a huge opportunity right here for Kenmore East. This is almost right about where the ball got taken away on that last play. You're almost getting it right back where you would have been tackled on that last play that they fumbled it on.
So with just under 7 to go, and what was a heartbreak for Ken East, coughing up the ball, now's a chance for them in a best situation possible. Red zone opportunity on this drive to start off the ball. From the snap, they're going to go inside and able to get some yardage there. Looked like to be number 8 for Ken East, Sean Hamilton.
Boy, that was Pratt, though, on that stop right there. What a great job to come up and fill that hole and make that tackle. That's a big stop. Right now, it's all about defense. It's all about heart. Who wants this one more? You've got 6 minutes and 20 seconds left to make something happen for either team.
That was a pickup of about 3 yards. That's one of the few times I've seen Ken East and their quarterback, Lubeski, go a play under center. Now he's back in shotgun formation, empty backfield, showing 5. From the snap, it's a high one. And he's just going to have to eat it up. And he's way back past the 30 to the 32.
Is he okay?
Must be showing some frustration. He's going to jog towards the sidelines.
He looked like he had grabbed his helmet. That's the only reason why I said that. So obviously he got himself up and quickly to the sideline to get the next play. But boy, that's so the 3 things really we talked about for Kenmore East was been turnovers, penalties, and that snap from center, especially when Lubeski's in shotgun.
Just over 5 to go in this one. Big break for Amherst defense. Now it's time for Ken East to try to get some big chunk play back. Lubeski looking. He's feeling the pressure, and he's sacked. Brought down by one of the guys who's made a big impact on this defense so far. It is number 2, Maurice Anderson, who wraps up Lubeski for the sack.
What a great play right there. And like I always say, that open field tackle is one of the toughest tackles to make, and he does it against a very good quarterback on the run that's able to get things happen in open space. And boy, he comes up big, and now you're talking about where it's 38 yards to go for the first down.
They would have to get to the 6-yard line.
So now the question is, with 4, it should come up right about the 4-minute mark. Are they going to try to throw something up there? Still saying is like, listen, even if we don't get it, do we give ourselves an opportunity right now just like it's a punt?
Right now, Lubeski, all by himself, showing 5 wide receivers. Here's the snap. It's high. Feels the pressure. Chuck this one deep downfield. Incomplete.
And I'll tell you, the crowd was yelling for a hold. There could have been a hold on that one called right there, but don't call it. But a great job of Amherst. We talked about highlight reels don't have to be the interceptions. Knock it down. Look at the field position you got right now to see if you could finish this one off if you're Amherst.
Looked like that might have been Jaron Williams. That was the intended receiver. And the guys who were out on the coverage there, it's like Kimani Colvin was one of those guys that came up big for this defense. 3:43 left to go here. 1st and 10, Amherst at their own 44. Off the snap, it's Pratt trying to get by one defender, trying to cut it to the outside, and he's going to be brought down. Looked like by a couple of Kenny's defenders in Jaron Williams and Zaire Grissman. And a timeout called here by Kenmore East. With 3:30 to go in this one. 7-0 still is our score. Amherst with the ball. We'll take a quick break and be right back here. This break's brought to you by Damon University.
Logistics Plus is a global transportation provider headquartered in Erie, PA with locations worldwide, including right here in Western New York. Logistics Plus is consistently recognized as a fast-growing transportation and logistics company, great supply chain partner, top freight broker, leading project cargo manager, and a great place to work. With a strong passion for excellence, our 500-plus employees put the plus in logistics.
For an efficient, personal approach for all of your transportation needs, more information about our Buffalo office is available at logisticsplus.com/Buffalo.
Welcome back, everyone, to the NFHS Network for some Section 6 high school football. Late into this one, remains 7-0. We just had one touchdown that came from Amherst C.J. Pratt off a 10-yard rushing score. As he currently having the ball, he'll go ahead and hand it off to his teammate in Colvin, who's wrapped up immediately. May have gotten back to the line of scrimmage. No gain as Kenny's calls timeout once more. Since that, we've had no score since, but we've had a lot of action, a lot of turnovers that Amherst has been able to commit and recover. And we've also seen some good defense on Kenny's side, who's had some nice stops on 4th down to make sure this remains a one-score lead.
Actually, Amherst scored on their first drive.
They did?
Their first drive. Not the first drive of the game. Their first drive.
Yeah, their first drive.
So that's been the only scoring back in the first quarter is what it's been. Both defenses have stepped up. Like you said, you've really got to give credit to Amherst. They've capitalized on causing turnovers to really stop Kenmore East from being able to get in that end zone. And then same thing, though, Kenmore East, you got to give them credit. How many times did they stop Amherst inside the red zone so that they couldn't put points up on the board and make sure the game got out of hand? If they can stop it right here, they're still going to get another opportunity to be able to try to tie this game up.
Well, Pratt thought about maybe throwing the ball, but he's going to take it himself, and he's just met up by a group of guys. And now the third and final timeout is called. He got to the 46-yard line, so only a pickup of a yard.
You're going to see Kent's going to have to go off the field on this play. That's the one whose helmet came off right there. So he's going to have to sit out a play and come off the field. But it looks like we're going to see a timeout called.
Well, Tom, I think at this time now it's good to just ask the folks, about our high school sports coverage, what we'll be doing for this season. Obviously, we just had one yesterday with Frank Wolf. You have your Wednesday Night Football Weekly show. And then tomorrow for me and Francis Beck will do our own show, kind of an NFL Red Zone style called Empire State End Zone, where we take a look at some big matchups throughout Section 6.
Yeah, and again, I think this is going to be a great opportunity. We had this show a couple years back, and it really did so well. And I love that you and Francis are kind of bringing this back. And even more, I think we're going to have way more video than we did the first time. We have way more opportunity to get in and do some live looks in games. But you're going to get the opportunity to not even see games during, but you're going to get some great post-game interviews. You're going to have coaches call in. You're going to have players call in. You're even going to have commentary guys that were on games to be able to call in and tell you what happened. There are so many different things that these guys are going to do. Please tune into that show because it's going to be a huge success, especially for Western New York football.
Resendez for Amherst will be putting this one away. You have Jaron Williams for Ken East back there along with number 2 in Damir Bibbs. who's going to let this one roll out of bounds. Looked like it got inside the 20. And actually, it's going to stay exactly at the 20. 3:05 left to go. No timeouts for Ken East. 80 yards to go.
But we've seen they have the quick strike capability.
Right.
And right now, Amherst cannot let a receiver get behind them, because if they see it, you know Ken Maurice can make a connection and make a big play happen. We've seen multiple big plays by them. But boy, I'll tell you, we got the game of the day. Unfortunately, it's a lopsided affair with Wilson. Last I saw it was 39-0 over Alden. And then the last I got of the West Seneca East versus Star Point was 26-7 in that one. So with West Seneca West leading there. So we've got the closest game of the day right now, and we could have a big finish right here. It's either going to be great offense or we're going to see the defense stop up to make a big play.
Well, let's see what Ken East can do here. Lubeski going downfield this time. Had Kent, but just sailed over his head. Incomplete.
And I'll tell you, he beat a couple guys right there. That was just a little bit over, and that could have been a chance for a big play. And you're looking for your big playmaker right there, because Kent has proven he could step up and play that role.
We've seen that a couple times here on this offense where Lubeski's made a couple throws that have, whether they sailed over the head of their intended receiver or have also gone behind him. But for the most part, though, he's done a really good job trying to fit that ball in the tight spots or just throw a laser to his receiver.
Yeah, really has.
5 wide receiver set, second down. Lubeski chucking this one up, and it's incomplete. Jaron Williams was in the vicinity of the ball. The guy on coverage there was number 23, Ben Tiemann. And late in this ball game, Tom, this has probably been the first time I've seen Lubeski really try to find a struggle to find a way to which guy he wants to go to and try to get that ball off accurate.
And again, that may be a little bit of getting more acclimated with the position, getting better and better, understanding your receivers, understanding where they are. All that comes with time as well.
So 2:53 left to go in this one. 3rd down and 10. Here's the snap. Faking it to his left. Trying to chuck this one downfield. Incomplete.
And looking for Kent again.
Was Kent once more. Kiami Colvin was in the vicinity of that coverage.
I did like the way, though, on that last play that you actually watched Lubeski move inside the pocket. Did you see how he stepped left, right, moved well inside the pocket, then stepped up to be able to send that ball long? Really did move well, especially with pressure all over him and all around him. But big 4th down right here. Because you know what will happen the rest of the game right here. Amherst is looking to do nothing but run the ball, and there's no timeouts to be able to stop that clock. That clock's going to keep moving.
Going 4 wide receivers, 1 man in the backfield. Here's the snap. He's feeling the pressure right away. Lubeski's pass is incomplete. And once more, off that coverage, the pass rush of Maurice Anderson came right through on 4th down, gave it all he got, and put the fear in Lubeski's eyes that he had to throw that one immediately.
Boy, I'll tell you. So you and I have done a lot of post-game interviews, and this may be one of the first times, and we haven't talked about who's going to really do the interviews yet, but this may be one of the first times this is going to be all defensive-oriented, this interview. It's a lot of defense out there. Think about the stripped that happened on the play that you don't give up on. Think about the interception that ran back. Think about all the defensive stops that we've seen right now by Anderson. Think about all the defensive things that we've seen that are going to be able to talk about inside this one.
So off that turnover on downs, Amherst can just kill the clock as Tim Yap will take the ball and move it over towards that right side and just get a chunk of yardage. The clock stopped at 2:32.
Yeah, I think they're asking for him to run. They just asked him to run the clock.
So that ball got moved to the 15-yard line, so pick up a 5. That clock ticks away, just over 2 to go. And this is what Amherst wants to do here. They've done it throughout this game, just take as much time off the clock they can. And now they'll go ahead and call their timeout. 7-0's our score. And Tom, why don't we just go through, I know we went through a little bit of the schedule, but we'll just go through like the next game that both these guys are going up against. As for Kenmore East, for them, they will have their home opener next Friday at 7. That will be a divisional matchup. They'll take on last year's Class B champion, who's now in Class A2 with them, along with Amherst in Health Sciences.
That's a tough next game, I won't lie. We know how good this Health Sciences team has been year after year after year. And their first game is they're going on to take on AA Orchard Park Health Sciences. And you know Ty Parker challenges his team year after year after year. He's challenging them early with a big game against Orchard Park to prepare for conference play. And I'll tell you, that's going to be a tough game to start things off.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And a tough challenge was going to be for Amherst next week. They'll play on the road next Friday, September 12th. They'll face divisional opponent McKinley, and the kickoff for that game will start at 7.
And McKinley, with their tough first game, they're taking on Lancaster the first week. So, again, they're going to be tough and hungry.
Taking this ball off the right side, met up by a couple of Ken East defenders. And able to pick up the run there that time was Nadescu.
And I will say this, though. Amherst may get some good intel, as right now calling the plays, Ryan Manziel out there, the former Lancaster quarterback out there for Amherst calling the plays. You got to think he could probably get some good intel from Lancaster if that's who they're playing McKinley right now, or it'll be happening tomorrow.
3rd down and 2 as Pratt, staying patient, going to take it himself. Pushes forward along with the help of his O-line, and that will put him at the 10-yard line, picking up 2, more than enough for the first down.
And remember, the clock stops for a first down. Once the chains move, that clock will start up again. And I think at this point, if that is a first down, they can kneel it from here and end this game. And that's exactly what's happened. They got the first down, so the question is, were they going to just take a knee right here and get the victory? See, clock starts again right here. So you really, I think, are going to have to run a play, but the knees can happen, and Amherst can win this one with just kneeing.
I'll tell you, for a team like Amherst, as we get timeout here by the Tigers, we mentioned before about how young this team is and what their roster's at right now, only at around 20 players on the roster. It's definitely going to be a challenge as the season comes along. But when I spoke to head coach Jason Beckman last week, he says, you know, he knows a lot of the players have an experience. He is optimistic, though, that they can progress and do their jobs well. And, you know, these were guys where they had Grady Brown as their starting quarterback, Aiden Sabatino, who was a utility guy, great on all sides of the ball, rushing, receiving, and then on defense became the tackling in too. They also lost guys like Julian Brown and Andrew Justin, who are the team's best pass rushers, but so far in this contest, they seem to answer some of those questions and holes at those key positions. And right now, looking at a 1-0 start, which is always great to have when you start out a season.
Great momentum builder, and especially when you've got young teams out here. You could start off with a win, you build off of it. Think of how great practice can be this week after a victory. It's such a good feeling to practice that week 1 to get that W.
And the last time these guys went up against each other, it was last season. Amherst beat Ken East 35-13. And C.J. Pratt, the man who took a knee, he had 3 rushing touchdowns in that game, over 100 yards. Tonight, the one and lonely touchdown, and the last guy to touch the ball for this game, as that clock will wind down. And Amherst, tough, gritty performance, will pick up the win over Kenmore East by final score of 7-0, and they'll move to 1-0 overall and 1-0 in Class A2, as Pratt will take one more knee just to make it official. And it's going to time to celebrate here, a big opening week victory for the Amherst Tigers, 7-0 over Kenmore East.
Defense caused turnovers, controlled the clock. What it did, recipe for a W.
And with that, folks, definitely stay tuned for our social media on Western New York Athletics, whether through our Twitter account, Facebook, and Instagram. We'll have player interviews, post-game player interviews of this contest between Amherst and Kenmore East. But to sign off here on this broadcast, I want to thank our cameramen for tonight's game in Mike Goodberry and Russ Battaglia, our producer Heidi Gunther, our color commentator Tom Prince. My name is Jacob Fyack. Thank you guys so much for tuning into this one. Amherst comes away on their opening week victory over Kenmore East, 7-0. For everyone here tuning in this game, it was brought to you by Damon University. And for plenty more action of high school football, you can always check out our pages on WesternNewYorkAthletics.com and on our social media pages. So long, everyone. Have a great evening.